Oh, it's because it's not. There we go. There we go. It isn't just properly showing up. Alright, alright. Let's see. Hopefully the volume is alright, as per usual. Not too loud, not too little. It's Tuesday. As always. Enough for Tuesday, enough for stream. Need to figure out one way to have that. Still am on the lookout on how I'm gonna have this little chat box be somewhere where I can actually see people talking. But we'll manage. I figured out a strange way to do it last time, which worked some sort of. It worked for the intents and purposes that I needed to work. There we go. Let me just lower the volume on my end because this is very loud. I actually made sure to double check last time what we did, or rather what I did, so that I remember what to do this time in this stream, which is we're gonna continue working some in the water garden because we were romancing. Ah, thank you for the follow. We were working on romancing the newtgats so that we could then do our usages as well. We also have acquired a hippopotamus, and there's currently enough for a wild one just hanging out. Who's making quick work of my poor plants. How about you get out of here? Anyone else? There's usually two of the ruffians hanging out. Oh, that guy got stuck. And you are destroying the flowers, not for your own gain, but just to be annoying. This is for the hippopotamus, you fool. That guy is just stuck over there, which is not at all, strange in the slightest. There's a lot of plants that are just exploding. Not shocked at all. What is not a piñata stream of chaos? Excuse. Please. Okay, let's clean up some of this mess. Because this is a needless mess that was made just because we immediately started and there's just things happening. I can't even tell what's going on anymore. And it's not even been a couple of minutes. All I know is that this particular ruffian is being a real pain. And so is this hippopotamus. And there's just a snake that's stuck here now. I'm sorry, Mr. Serpent, but you're never gonna be able to go home. Let me replant all this nonsense. Because things just kind of started breaking all over the place. Okay, we got the second hippopotamus. It's great. That is very good, actually. Okay, the Serapent managed to get unstuck. Good for it. Let me clean up this nonsense. Yeah. Can't not start the stream with something happening. Alright. That should be... No, we should be chill. Viva Piñata stream. Let something go. Yes. Already started with absolute chaos. There's just With so much things happening. But we have 2 hippopotamuses now, which is very, very good. I think. Although now we have to plant all these cattails again, because, or sorry, bulrushes. Or wild corn dogs, as you can also call them. Because they just all decided to explode at once. Which is kind of unnecessary. And then we have this mister, who's just stuck. Which, to be honest, not unusual in the slightest. Yep, 2 hippos. The second one just decided to show up right as I was like closing down the game last time, and I was like, oh god, well, if we're lucky, we might get a second one at the start of the stream. And yep, now we have our second hippopotamus, who's decided to be here. Also, there's 2 serpents that are here. Why are you guys in here? This is not a garden for snakes. Alright, alright. Now that we have cleaned up, we can actually do some newtcat things. Which... Let's do that before more things suddenly out of nowhere start happening. Because we don't need chaos. I'm perfectly content having things be at least remotely chill. No, don't you dare. How are you? I am pretty good today. I'm in a very good mood because I went to go out and get groceries yesterday after not having gotten groceries for a pretty long while. And actually having things is nice. It's shocking how nice it is to actually have stuff available in one's house. It can really uplift your mood. So, doing pretty good today. Hope y'all are doing good today as well. Oh, well, that's about what I expected. Sorry, Mr. Snake. Are you gonna be able to get yourself out of there? Or are you gonna get stuck? Okay, no, for Piñata, sorry. I'm doing okay. There we go. Okay, the upper snake managed to get it. That's good. I hear a seed. But I don't see one. Where is it? Oh. Aha. Found you. Oh. Everyone asks, what's Smash-chu doing? But nobody asks how Smash-chu doing. I do appreciate when Smash-chu doing? Depends on what the thing. I feel like I'm always doing something though. So I guess that question could be answered with always. Alright, let's get rid of some of these watercress. There's just so many flowers that are laying about. Frankly, we don't need all these plants anymore, because we have the hippopotamuses, and if we want to romance them, we're gonna have to do candaries. Because you need to have the Candary Master Romancer reward. Which will be in its own garden, because I'm not gonna place a bunch of Candaries in this one. They don't need it. They don't need to be in here. So this Ruffin is just gonna be there forever now. We got a new statue to our collection. No, Langston, I have 2 warlums, but I don't care about actually doing your mission. Much, much, much prefer how it's done in Trouble in Paradise, where you have to take the incentive. Langston doesn't just randomly show up and be like, hey, do you have this thing? Ah, thank you for the follow. Hope you enjoy the stream. We're waiting for these newt cats to come back out. Come on, little guys. It's morning. Sure, it's like 5:30. But still, you gotta get up early. There we go. These hippopotamuses take up a lot of space. Which one are you? You're number 2. Never seen this far into the game. It's neat. Yeah, most people that play this game only play like the first like couple of levels. Okay, they get maybe to like they get into Pret's Tail or something like that. That's about as far as they get to like the second garden space, and then they just kind of stop. But like, there's a lot of interesting things in the late game and visual glitches. Could you guys move out of the way? You don't need to lay on the candy that we need to access for these guys. Why is this monster drop just decided to be here, even though it's daytime? Which is very curious. Still got around 40 something. Yeah. I will say, it is definitely worth getting to the late game, because you get to see some very interesting piñatas, and you get to start to see the true challenge of this game. Which is the late game piñatas. Just avoid having all of these explode. Oh, you bastard. I mean, I don't need these flowers anymore, but still. That's just rude. I don't remember why. With my copy never saved, because I think it was level 15 by max. I mean, that might either have been because of the fact that you need to be connected to the live service thing or whatever. Otherwise it just does not save. Which I remember on my... oh gosh! On my glitched CD that ended up being broken. Either because I forget if the live service at the time was just on its last legs, or there was something wrong, or if it was something with the disc itself, which is more likely the case because it is messy looking. But I stopped being able to properly get connected to the thing, which made the game refuse to save. Which meant sometimes I just play through the very start of the game, just because, oh, are you here to rescue your friend? Oh, there's 2 of them. I should really get the Captain's Coutness up in here. Wait, how much? How much money do I got? I have enough for it, but this really would be annoying. Are these guys gonna be able to pathfind into here? Yeah, you are. Leave. But yeah, that's the primary reason why one wouldn't be able to save. It also means you have to be connected to the internet to be able to actually save, which is kinda... I don't like games that force you to be online to be able to do stuff. Or, like, just do basic things like save the game. But, you know. We can't all be so lucky. Also, this is... We're doing this again. Please stop. Your online always is frustrating. Frustrated. Oh, did he stop? Good. I did recently get the DS copy of this game though, so I've been retrying it that way. Oh yeah! I've never gotten to try out the DS one, even though... I've heard very mixed things about it. Also, please, Mr. Beaver. You're just like the equivalent of a fly right now. Breaking my shit for no reason. There we go. Okay, these guys are just leaving. Good! We don't need you ruffians in here. Where's the rest of our newt cats? Come here. Go get some more candy, you guys. So we can continue this song and dance, if you will. Although they seem to be very scared of the geese right now. Biggest challenges are, 1, making sure your smaller piñatas don't get stepped on. Definitely. 2, getting enough space across all your gardens. 3, not getting attached to your older piñatas in order to be able to get the sacrificed for our little piñatas. Yep. In a lot of regards, you have to forfeit your sentimentality. And sometimes you just have to accept that you don't really get to choose a lot of things in this game. The game mostly decides on its own what it wants to do. Where are you going? But I guess it's partly accurate to working with actual animals in real life. So it's definitely as unpredictable as one would expect, but it's not the easiest thing to get into if you've never played anything like it before. This is also a hard game to, like, explain to people, I found, in particular. Like, trying to explain what this game is about and the appeal of it, some people just did not at all understand what is so interesting about this game and concept. Or they don't get engaged enough to stick around to the late game when you actually get access to a lot of the more interesting things, in my opinion. Sure, the early game is very, what should I say? I will say, the early game does get you pretty hooked, because there's just so much that happens at once. But I feel like for some people that can get pretty chaotic, and then other people can, get put away over the fact that you will spend a lot of time in this game just doing nothing. And waiting. And other times you'll just be doing every single thing at once. It's like Pokemon, if Pokemon wasn't relevant. Early game is a lot of tutorials and waiting. Yep. Like, the super duper early game, like the very start, is super slow. If you don't know how to make it go faster, which most people that start the game don't. I know how to make it go fast, but, you know. But as soon as you go over a certain threshold, you just get so much stuff bombarded at you. It is nuts. Like, it feels like if you get beyond a certain threshold, the game really rewards you for sticking around. Okay, guys. Get over here. Number 1 and 2. It is definitely a very unique game, I will say. There we go. Okay, that will be the last newt get that we will need to get the Master Romancer, and then we can allow our juicy geese to nab. Let's see, I think they both need 2 each. Problem with that is that that might make some of our newt cats pretty sad. So Might have to invest in getting some happy candies just sprawling about so that we don't end up with depressed nude cats. And once you get visited by the Malawolf, the challenge starts. Oh, yeah. Well, I will say, okay, the Malawolf, I think, is not that that particularly scary of a pinata, out of the sour ones. If I had to rate which of the sour pinatas are the most, like, the Malawolf obviously, like, it's like, okay, now you've approached the very, you're getting there. You're almost at the kind of last batch of stuff. Like the higher level pinatas are gonna start there. I still think the sour bonbon is one of the most annoying ones. Which I forget. I always forget that this guy is actually the last sour in the original. And not the Malawolf. But I guess that's just because the Malawolf is so much more iconic. Which is the one that makes your pinata sick. That would be the sherbet. Or, I mean, all of them can technically make your pinata sick by, you know, dumping out their candy everywhere. But it's the sherbet in particular that bites for pinatas and makes them sick. That one is fucking annoying. Mostly because they go for pinatas that are asleep. Which means that if you don't have houses for your pinatas, the sherbet can be a real nuisance until you figure out how to get it. Which, I mean, it's not that hard to get it, it's mostly so hard to make it actually go for the darn jack-o'-lantern. That's the challenge, to make it actually do the thing it's supposed to do. Because pinatas have a mind of their own. The other ones are just whatever for the most part. Mostly because the bigger ones you can see a mile away when they're about to come into your garden. Like, I've never had problems with the crocodile. One, because I never use helpers. Who the fuck uses helpers? Aside from the diggerlings, which you get after you unlock the crocodile. The Mac Raccoon, I don't not mind. Though he does go after eggs. I think the Mac Raccoon is the second hardest to tame in the OG game. Yeah, the Mac Raccoon is probably the one that takes the most effort to tame. Especially if you're not, like, you know this game in and out, and you don't naturally just do the Master Romancer wards. You just kind of play completely vanilla, where you just kind of focus on residenting the pinatas. Maybe romancing them once. And if you don't have those 5 Master Romancer wards, then it's gonna take its sweet time. Though I naturally use Master Romance things, so it's never been that too much of a deal. I always use water because I'm forgetful. I mean, it's fair. I mean, they're there for a reason. Ah! Beep! Gotta follow. Thank you for the follow. Potato Crisp. What an excellent username. This ruffian is still here. Really determined to stay there, I guess. Alright. There we go. Master Romancer for the nude cats. I think I never got any Master Romance for Words Trouble in Paradise. It's just too many pinata types. I feel like it is sort of feasible to 100% this game. 100%ing freaking Trouble in Paradise is something that you only do if you're like, if you've literally got nothing better to do. Like, this is so much. There's just so much. And I mean, there's something fun with that. But, I mean, it's not for, like, somebody who's just got into the whole series should be doing. Like, no. I do not suggest doing that. The Trouble in Paradise is its own can of worms. Because there's just so much more stuff in it. Alright. We got some geese. I honestly don't know if geese hunt newts in real life. They might do. Never bothered to check up on that fact. We don't want to get our original newt cats. Because I get attached to the I get attached to the first, like, two of any of the species that I get. Like, those are the special ones. These guys are my favorite piñatas. Yeah. I didn't actually know there was more than one until this year. There's a surprising amount of Viva Piñata games that you wouldn't exactly expect. Also, the experiment is getting said. I mean, I don't care too much about the experiment. I like experiments, but you know. Unfortunately, some things have to be done. You need to have a fish fountain. These guys are one of my... probably one of my favorite piñatas. These guys are one of my favorites as well. I think it's my favorite out of the, like, OG piñatas. Then my absolute favorite is this Smelba. There are some non-number one newt cats. Or number two. Okay. There. 80-10. Alright. Let's get a fountain. And then have these geese romanced, which I think I probably did this in my very, very first playthrough way long ago. But I don't have much memory of actually romancing the geese. I do remember, quote-unquote, master romancing them. Like, get out of the way, little guys! By, just converting all of the blackberries into geese. And of course they go into their house. So this looks... bad. I know it's supposed to be, like, water, but, like, if you compare this water to this water, the difference is quite staggering. Okay. Mister, listen here. Just stop for a moment. It's statue or something. It's supposed to be a fish. And the blue stuff that it's pouring out, honestly, seems to have the consistency and it seems to have the consistency of Jello, and the gravity as if it's on the moon. For fuck's sake, just please, just stop. This is my kingdom. Just please. Stop. Stop for a second. Why? Also, you can turn it off. Because, you know, that is something that you do with fountains. You just turn them off. Can we please end this madness? Thank you. Thank you so much. That took forever. Why did he do this? Alright, let's see. Ah. You know, it's goose noises. Oh, it's... I feel like the developers confused the geese for fucking turkeys or something. Wait, hold on. Ah, I went the wrong way. Check out these strats, though. Go! Well, it worked. I didn't expect it to, but it did. Alright, let's romance these geese. Some piñatas are amalgams and similar types of animals, it seems. You're correct on that one. Like how the newt gat is both a newt and an axolotl. And the eagler is like a combination of different eagles. And the goose is like... well, not just one type of goose. Wow, that sure was a dance. What if the pinatas are, like, kind of generic? Like the frog being both a toad and a frog. Because it's called a liquor toad, but it's clearly a frog. Like everyone used to refers to this pinata as the frog. But it's named after a toad. So it kind of serves as both, I suppose. I can actually pick up this egg. Ain't that nice? I actually don't need this anymore. Lickatoad and Lackatoad. Yep. Lackatoad being the poisonous frog. Alright. Before we move on, and I want to try and, maybe romance these hippopotamuses. Maybe is the key word, because it would require me to, master romance the darn, Candaries, which, I mean, isn't the hardest thing ever, because what you really do is just master romance experiments, and then turn them into Candaries. That's the easiest way to do it. No, do not. You don't need 2 romance candies. Because... actually, romancing the hippopotamuses would be a neat feat to have done. Considering that's not something you often... you often get to see people do in this game. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not how you're supposed to be doing that, but I'm just gonna keep on doing it like that. I don't know why. It seems neat. Yep. Actually didn't know about romance candies in the original place. Huh. I mean, they don't really tell you about them very, like, very well. They're just like, oh, here's candies that you can use. I'm not even sure if they actually explain it to you directly. They're just like in the store. Have you ever gotten an elephant in one? I have. Before I had my save file erased by this beautiful bird, I actually had gotten the elephantillas. I haven't romanced them, but I got them, which is I mean, it feat on its own, because I feel like the trio of or let's say well, I don't know if we call it a trio if it's 4. I forget what is it, a quad if it's 4. But like you got the elephantilla, the chippopotamus, the rorio, and the eagler. I would argue are like the elite 4 of this game. I'm trying to think if there's any other difficult pinatas to get. That aren't like the sour ones, because they're never on the tier of their own. Then we have this one on East, swimming on air. Always happy to show off that glitch. I guess you can sort of count the Galagugu, but I've never thought the Galagugu has been particularly difficult to get. The Pixie is something. I would say the Pixie is certainly something. I remember being pretty stumped in my original playthrough about the Pixie, because I didn't quite understand what you needed to do to get it. Because the game sure doesn't fucking tell you. And it also doesn't tell you about the fact that you both have to have the Swanana and Raspberry have the maximum happiness for them to actually be able to do the romance. Or the foreheads. I would say the foreheads itself, like actually doing the thing, isn't difficult. Getting to know about it is the difficult part. Because there's a lot of things the game just straight up doesn't tell you, and the whole thing with the Serapins becoming Twinger Snaps, then becoming foreheads, there's just nothing in the game about it. Zip about it. I remember someone managed to get a Dragon Piñata, but I didn't know what to do with it, so I stopped playing. I mean, the Dragonosh is sort of meant to be like the last Piñata. It's supposed to be like the big mystery Piñata that you only get at the end. That's like the final one, but like you can get it relatively easily if you just happen to have the mine. And then you just can get it without even thinking about it. Like, it's actually not that difficult. I wager there's a lot more Piñatas that are way more difficult to get than the Dragonosh. The Dragonosh is just time. But like, I mean, even in the story, like the story you can read in the journal, like the Dragonosh is like the big thing. You'd think that the game would just be done there, but the game doesn't have an ending. The game also doesn't have any reward at all for actually completing it. Which, fun fact. If you bother to 100% this game, you will get nothing. There's no, like, thank you or, like, congratulations or anything of the sort. There's just no fanfare. You do unlock the credits at a certain level, but that's technically not when you end the game. Like, this is a game that you can technically play forever, although it definitely has, like a stop when you stop getting new things. I guess the gardener actually bothered to dig for it. Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm not sure if Jardinero and the rest of them, if they were like, oh yeah, obviously the Dragonosh egg is underneath our garden. Like, I don't know. It's kind of a wild guess to be making, if you ask me. So I can sort of understand why they would just not find it when it's right under their noses, and the whole story is about them trying, like, to go all to these different places and getting tricked. Because nobody knows where it is. Though you'd think, considering that there are like these different things that can be in the ruins of the garden when you start up, you'd think that Jardinero, being such a quote-unquote high-level gardener, would at one point have built a mine in his garden. You know? Or did you just never bother? Because, like, if you never bothered, then I can understand never actually finding the darn thing. But if you actually had a mine going, then, like, dude, you just gotta wait a little bit more. Also, I'm gonna try this. Yeah! That's some speed strats right there. Bing. Also, pro tip for people playing this game. Or are interested in playing this game. This man over here. This bird. This eagle here. Better be careful with that particular bird. Oh, it's just gonna land right in here. That bird can do some things. Primarily glitch out your game. At least when it's a resident, it seems. It doesn't seem to do anything while it's just hanging out, which, I mean, it's a good thing. I wouldn't want it to just destroy everything as soon as it exists. like, to be honest, most of the flying piñatas seem to, be something. On the upper hand, obviously, you would use your garden to build a mine. Yeah. I mean, I will say, there's some very strange things, like, why would you even have this kind of structure in a garden? Like, my garden space is obviously a place for mining. I don't know. There's some strange things. Okay, my dearest juicy geese, could you please just be nice? Thank you, Chippopotamus. There we go. This eagler is just being right up in here. Which, the plan that I have for this particular playthrough is to get all the piñatas, obviously. Though, I'm not gonna get all of them. I'm gonna get everyone except for the eagler, and then I'm gonna do all of the variants. And then, I'm going to get the eagler. That will be the very last piñata that we'll be getting. Dude. I will get all the effort piñatas out of the way. I guess I have an artillery battery on my garden myself. What's some of the strange things you could have in a garden that are like an equivalent to a mine? Because like most of the infrastructures make sense. I mean, you can have like toxic sludge barrels. Which, did you know that the toxic, like, quote-unquote sludge barrels, as one could affectionately call them, like toxic waste barrels, are actually mostly filled with dirt. Which I find pretty funny. Like actual, in real life ones. I'm pretty sure that's a decorational item you can buy. If I'm not completely mistaken. Yeah, you can just have a fucking waste barrel in your garden, which... Lottie, where did you get this thing from? Did you just find it, like... He's chilling somewhere? And it's like, oh, this trash! This obviously bad trash. I'm going to sell it to the gardeners for a profit. It's a decorational item. Someone will want it. Alright. We just got one more geese. And we'll be golden. Nope, I don't want to sell any geese. Come here. Let's see, is the upper goose in there? No? Where's the upper goose then? There's goose number 1. Come here. Come on, you guys. I do very much enjoy the extended amount of decorational items in Trouble in Paradise. Where you can have like a railway and stuff. Yeah, and a rocket. Because, why not? Why would you not want that? I forget. I think piñatas could actually ride the railway. Which was neat. Oh, oh, it's fine. Go. There we go. I mean, some of the piñata houses are also pretty strange. Or rather, I mean, they're houses, and they're themed, so it's less of that. I'm mostly used to houses being strange. What do you guys even need? You need more water and all that jazz. But let's have the geese out of the way. and then might move to another garden to do the canary thing. Or we can work on the other thing, which I was thinking about doing, which is getting the Galagoo, because I do very much enjoy the Galagoo, and it's another one of those high-level pinatas that are very much fun to have, like, done. And also because I miss my dear Tim. I don't understand what causes these fellas to get stuck. I really don't. There's nothing here to prevent him from doing anything. But for some reason, he's just stuck there. And this isn't the first time that I've seen this happen. I've had a water garden before. Like, in my very, very, very first playthrough. Like, back when I was a kid, and I had a water garden similar to this one. Where I had, like, a bunch of small little islands with a bunch of different plants on it. And a bunch of water pinatas. And, Mr. Pester just decided to show himself. Like, he's decided to visit the garden. I was like, crap, I don't like this guy. This guy always destroys things. And what ends up happening is that he gets stuck in the middle of the entire thing. Like, he gets stuck on one of the tiny islands. On nothing. There's no item on that little island that would prevent him from moving. So, he just randomly just got stuck and then proceeded to never move from there ever again. Which is really strange. If you thought the Trencher Snap was convoluted, you haven't heard about the Chocolaticus. No, it's just absurd. The Chocolaticus is like the equivalent of like trying to figure out the different Reggies in the Pokemon Sapphire, Ruby, and Emerald, like back as a kid. The Chocolaticus is a doozy. And it's another one of those things that the game just doesn't tell you anything about it. It's just like, what? What's that? There's a dinosaur pinata. You can figure it out. And really, if you don't look up guides and stuff, the chances are you're just gonna be like, what? Maybe at best, you figure out that, oh yeah, there's all these different bones. One which you get from the mine. One which you buy. Then I forget where you get the upper bone, like the last one. Because there's 3 bones. There's the red, green, and red, green, and blue bone. And then you can maybe figure out that you can tinker the bones. And then you also have to figure out that you need to do the credit sequence to unlock the wishing well. Which you get the credit sequence after releasing the final trapped pinata, which is the E-clear. And then you have to do the minigame where you have to break all of the pinatas. And so, yay! Master Romance reward for Yusuke's. You have to do that. And then you have to know that you need to put in the maximum amount of gold, like chocolate coins, in the well to get the amber. And then you need to know that you need to put all these things in the storage shed. And only when you do all of those things do you get the Chocolaticus. And then you can get to know that you can actually customize the Chocolaticus depending on, like, which of the things you do in which order, which is just... How? How are you supposed to know that at all when the game doesn't tell you anything? It's just nonsense. I think other things that are kind of outrageous is the fact that, like, the game doesn't tell you about variants at all. Not at all. Even though that's, like, one of the key features is that you can change the colors of your pinatas by making them eat different things, right? That's pretty straightforward. And for most of them, you can maybe, like, ah, yeah, if I feed it the green thing, maybe it'll turn green, and then you try it with like, every single pinata ever. But then there's the pinatas that need 2 things for 1 color. And, like, how are you supposed to know those things? Like, sincerely. There's just nothing to give you any inclination that you need to do all those specific things. I'll be honest, all the people that actually played this and did all the experimentation actually find those things in the first place are like, you people are, those people are bonkers. And frankly are something to be feared. Because I would never think to do some of the things that you have to do to, like, get certain variations of piñatas. Like, even with a guide, this game is quite mysterious. There's so many things that you can just straight up miss. Because the game doesn't make any effort to actually tell you about it. Which, I mean, is special in a way. Nowadays you can just look up things. But still. I think I'm gonna be done with the water garden for now. And then you can't even really choose your Chocolaticus part since the bones are digged up randomly. Yep. I mean, sort of. A little bit. You can sort of choose a little bit based on which ones you tinker first and whatnot, but... And then there's the special Chocolaticus variation that you can't even access anymore. Alright, let me move on from the water garden, and we can figure out if we want to work on sparrow mints, or if we want to do a little bit of Galaguga action. It's a really interesting thing. One of the schoolyard river types of games, for certain. I'm sad that I didn't have any, like, friends at the time that enjoyed this game. So I kind of had to figure out all the things by myself, and with the wonderful 2009 internet. Let's go to the orchard. That's a good place for birds. But, like, there were so many rumors going around. And so many, like, tips. And so many of, like, variations and stuff. Like, the variants for just... People just didn't know. There were so many question marks on a lot of things, and I think... I don't know, you don't really get those kinds of games anymore. Because you kind of need to know every single thing. Like, it's hard to have mysteries, but this game certainly had a lot of mysteries. So I feel like maybe it didn't do them as good as it could have. If that makes sense. I feel like they could have at least tried to give some semblance of hints. Rather than no hints. Well, I shouldn't say no hints. There are some hints. And then we have Leafas, who's supposed to tell you hints, but who doesn't. Do you see this man? Sort of a hint character or something. I mean, Leafas is supposed to do it, but she really doesn't. I see you, mister. I see you're looking at my ponies. And I ask you to leave. Get out of here. You good for nothing crook? If only Leafas actually told you things that made sense. Instead of spreading around false rumors. Like Magicals turning to Sweet Tooths if you fucking submerge them in water. Why would that work? Though to be fair, I did actually try that as a kid. Made me never trust her ever again. Alright, where's our experiments that are all up there? Do we have any roams? Okay, we have one. We have two. But, although I think I've already romanced the experiments before. You guys get down from there. Pretty sure I've romanced these guys before, which is why I can see the romance requirements. So, let's just get this over with. Experiments are pretty easy. We just want to make some candaries. And then have a buzzing show up. Although I think I've already seen the buzzing pop up before. And then I expect Viva Piñata special for me, because nobody talked to me about it, so everything I did found out back in 2009, 2010. I couldn't really share it with anybody. Yeah. Same here. I had to write down a lot of, like, discoveries that I made. Because... like, who was I gonna share it with? I didn't post on the internet. I was, like, 11. I didn't have internet accounts on things. I didn't know what forums were. I didn't know any other Swedish-speaking person that played this game. Which, I'm so grateful, even if it's not the best translation in the world, that this game even is in Swedish, because I believe that if this was, like, in English back when I was, like, barely able to understand English, this game would just be nigh impossible. But I am very, very, very glad that this game is available in my native tongue, so that I could actually enjoy it as a kid. Though, man, I have so many little, like, thingamabobs that I made as a kid about this game, like little guides and stuff that I wrote down and made little images for. Like, I have a bunch of books that's like Piñata encyclopedias and stuff. It's like, those things just sort of exist. Meanwhile, with, like, Pokemon and whatnot, I could at the very least be like, oh yeah, it's Pokemon, people understand these things. It's pretty special. It also doesn't help that a lot of the things in this game, like the requirements and whatnot, there's a lot of errors, unlike the amounts and whatnot. So, sometimes the game isn't even very clear with some basic things. So it is an enigma. But it's a very beautiful enigma. Like, there's a lot of things that I sort of only learned about later on. That I never actually learned while playing the game originally. And it really baffles me with all the new little things that I learn every so often about this game. And, well, both of the games. I haven't actually played the DS one to give any thoughts on it. I mean, the TV show was actually aired on national television, but I never found out about it until, well, after a year of playing the game. Yep. I've only found out about the TV series because I would search for Viva Piñata content on, like, YouTube and on the internet and whatnot, because I was obsessed with this game way back in the day. Like, I just wanted any single content about it because, you know, yeah, I wanted to learn. I wanted to understand. I wanted to dive deeper into this world. And I happened to find, like, people re-uploading, like, parts of the episodes on YouTube, and I was like, oh, there's a TV series? And unfortunately, it was all in fucking English, with no Swedish subtitles, so little Swede me was just like, I barely understand what is going on, but there's piñatas on screen. And some piñatas that I had never seen before, because they only first appeared in the TV series before actually showing up in the games. Like, the jelly. Or learning about just the strangest things. Like, they tried to put in, like, game hints in the TV show, which, I mean, not sure if that was, like, a particularly good idea. Like, I don't know. I mean, sure, it gives people reason to watch the TV show, but it just seems a little odd, if you ask me. Also considering the TV show was debatable in quality. I mean, it was interesting to actually see a 3D TV show at that time that actually looked okay. They actually had a dub version, but it was different voice actors to the games. Yeah. The show was like standard cartoon, children's cartoon from what I remember. Yep, it was just kind of like a stock standard cartoon, and it had pinatas and very strange episodes that revolved around pinata things. Which, I mean, now that I'm an adult, I kind of would have liked if the TV show was actually more closely in line with like what you get in the game, or like about like the actual main characters. But you know, it's what we have to deal with. It was a completely different dub studio. Love your YouTube notification just arrived. I've been working on uploading the VODs. Because I was like, oh yeah, I should probably do that. Because sometimes I can be a little slow. I was like, oh yeah, it's stream day. Might as well upload these. I said, you know what? We can get, let's see. We can get a Galagugu in this garden as well. Why not? First of all, let's get a moth drop. Wait, we can just get the moon on a stick. Yeah. Whatever, Lottie. Let me get the moon on a stick. Which, I don't know why there's a moon on a stick. What is a reference to, if any at all. But it's neat. Yeah, I don't know. The show was just alright. It was nothing groundbreaking by any means. It was interesting that they mostly used models from, like, the games. That was neat, I suppose. Though they had to modify a lot of the models to, fit with, like, you know, being animated in whatever style you would call the TV show. Mostly so that the pinatas could stand upright. Because, of course, you gotta make them relatable by making them stand up like humans, because if they stand on all fours, then you're like, what? It's not a person! Which I kind of find stupid. Like, I don't think I would have cared at all if they were just walking on all fours like they do in the games, because I would just be like, ah, it's the things from the thing. I know this thing. Yeah. It was certainly a time. Though to be fair, I only really watched because I was craving the Viva Piñata content and there wasn't people playing it at the time. Or at least, people were probably playing it because it had recently released. It's just that being able to actually record stuff off of your, like, your TV or such is, was not something that you usually saw people do back in 2011. Capture cards didn't exist properly back then. Please got your YouTube notification from so-called Smash-chu. She's like Swedish and stuff. Alright. I only remember seeing like low-cam quality tutorials from Viva Piñata. The one video that I remember that is still up on to this day is somebody showing off their true gardens in which they have multiple dragonoshes and multiple chocolaticus in the same garden. And I remember being so impressed by that. I remember being like, holy shit, you can do that? I want to do that. But it made me realize that A, I don't have Trouble in Paradise, and second, I would not be able to play up to that point at that time because child me did not understand. Like, I got Trouble in Paradise back then too, after I got Xbox 360 just to play that, and I remember being so overwhelmed, like, just absolutely overwhelmed because A, I barely understood anything that was going on because English is just what? what is English? And then, on top of that, there's just so many things that the game just throws you right in. Okay, Xbox 360 against or shipped. Also, these experiments are being real annoying. But I used to remember actually trying to play it and not quite having a fun time because there was just so much happening at once while I was... And also trying to play with a controller compared to playing with a mouse and keyboard. Which, very different experiences. I prefer a mouse and keyboard any day. Because I have so much more control over what I'm doing, which is very important for this kind of game. I feel. Like, you want to be able to quickly respond to things happening, because if you don't, then shit goes to shit. And, having to, try and, use the controller and quickly maneuver around is just pain. Or it was pain. I'm sure if I actually were to try it again, in this day and age, I would be more fine with it. But, you know. Yo! Hello! Alright. You guys can stop looking at the romance candies that aren't for you. You silly horses. Alright. Soon enough we'll have, these experiments romance so that we can turn them into candaries. I prefer mouse and keyboard except on platformers and fight games. Well, yeah. For most games, I prefer the controller because it's nice. But for this kind of game, with the mouse and keyboard any day. Any simulation game, mouse and keyboard is the best. Honestly. I have bad wrists, so I use controllers usually. I mean, that's why it's good that you could use different control schemes. Mouse and keyboard is best for almost everything but platformers and anything that uses a lot of buttons. Yeah. It's also very good for shoot games. Even though I don't play those games at all. No, stop! Why? These birds are being particularly annoying today. Just get out of your house. Yeah, I don't know. There are pros and cons to all kinds of control schemes. Although, there are definitely controllers that are better than others. Especially if you look at older consoles, where your choice of controller was like a weird paddle or knob that you had to turn around with fucking, like, number buttons. I don't know the exact name of the horse-like piñatas, but their run cycle is so stupid. I love it. I had a Pinocchis. They bounce around. Any simulation, mouse and keyboard, any day. I haven't heard of flight sims. Oh yeah, like Flight Simulator. I will say, having watched my best friend play Flight Simulator, I'm pulling out a controller for it because mouse and keyboard is not great for that. In particular, because, you know, them controls. I can understand wanting it for... Like, if you're flying around, then you probably don't want the wibbly wobbliness and the quick turns with the mouse, because that would just be annoying. So these birds are taking so long that the romance candies are getting rotten. Usually with experiments, it usually doesn't take this long, but they're being real stubborn today. You guys, you don't want to become candaries? Is that what's going on? There we go. All good. Kind of bouncing around. I feel like if one has a flight game, you could probably use like an air. What are they called? Those flight sticks? I feel like that would be fun. I feel like you're actually like flying an airplane. Well, sort of. A close approximation. Here's a fun fact. I've never ever actually been on a plane or like flown with a plane. I've been on many, many, many different ships, which don't just emerge from the ground. Perfect. I've been on ships a lot of times. I've been on the different kinds of vehicles. I've been inside of a fire truck once. But never been on an airplane. Just got a notice to play ALT a few months ago. Oh. I assume that's some kind of light sticky kind of thing. Because I do not know the specific names for the different ones, but I do know there's different models. Come on, experiment. You can do it. You can get into the house. Beautiful. Hands on throttle and stick. Oh. For that real immersive experience. Speaking of immersive, I used to have the thought of like, what if Viva Piñata but in VR? Now that would be pretty wacky. You have to dig the holes yourself. Though it would also mean that you would get to go walk up close to the piñatas, and that would be pretty bonkers, I think. I wish piñatas were real. I mean... they sort of are. There's no living piñatas, though. Which is the greatest shame of all time. So I do know what you're referencing. It's just like the post that's like, I wish squids were real. You guys just not going into your house. He's not alive. I mean, maybe somewhere out there in this world of ours, there's a secret Piñata Island. In an alternate universe. There's a Tim. You. My sweet son. Soon. I'm gonna wait till morning and then we'll get these experiments turned to canned areas. Where's our moth drop at? Oh, there it is. What do you need? You need 8 thistles. Hold it. Haven't we romanced moth drops before? I don't think so. So, just for safety's sake, let's plant a thistle in this corner. And by 1 thistle, I mean 2 thistles. Because we don't want them anywhere near the piñatas. There we go. That should do it. We'll just let this be there. Wait for our second moth drop. Where are you going? And we're going into the void. What does the full experiment house look like? I love that they have like a giant clothespin in their house. I was honestly expecting it to be way louder, but it's actually kind of pleasant. These little birdies. You. Come here. Actually, these things are taking a while to grow. They're smooth, low textures. Yeah, for some reason, in this game at least, in this port, all the models of the piñatas inside of their house are like the or like the models without any of the like fur on, and slightly lower poly than normal. You can sort of see some seams on the models when you get to see them without their fur. Smooth. They're indeed very smooth. Shaved. Oh, wait. Oh, wait, have an additional moth drop that just decided to make itself resonant. I do have a moth drop, Langston. You're in luck. Which we can send off one of these moth drops. You, come here. No. There we go. Aha. Got you. I saw your iceberg video. It was nice. I'm glad. I noticed that the iceberg video got like over 10,000 views by now, which is pretty bonkers, honestly. Which also makes me very happy because I put a lot of effort in that. There we go. Alright. At least. Wait for a bit before we do any off drop shenanigans. Reject shaved modernity. Return to hairy tradition. Return to confetti fur. Or, I don't know. I'm assuming it's confetti. Alright, let's turn these birds into other birds. You! Become bird. Paper mache. I mean, paper mache in of itself is not, like, that kind of, like, fuzz. Like, that's the foundation of the piñata for sure. These birds are so happy. Let's see what happens when a really happy bird turns into another bird. And the answer might shock you. Their happiness completely reset. I like that the moth strap are named after something considered unpleasant because moths are supposed to be drab or whatever. I actually think that moths are cute. Cute in real life, yeah. Moths are very good. I mean, aren't moth drops named after, gumdrops? Which, I mean, I'll be honest, I wouldn't know if gumdrops are bad or not. I've never had a gumdrop. I know there is gum. Cough drops. Really? I don't think cough drops are candy, though. Well, there's an exception. There are one, like, little thing that are what can be stated as cough drops, which is the cough drops that we have over here, which are tutti fruity flavored. Those are great. Those cough drops are amazing. Those things that I would used to eat as fucking candy as a child, and my parents would just be like, "Alright, you fucking weirdo." You have all these other candies that you could buy with your very well earned, like, 5 crowns. And you buy the fucking cough drops? The ones I know are vaguely honey flavored. Moths get a bad rap. Also, a lot of butterflies actually moths anyway. Yeah, did you know? The majority of, like, butterflies are secretly moths. And also, there are way more moth species than there are butterflies. Mouse are also very cute and fluffy, which is infinitely cuter than most butterflies, in my opinion. Like, butterflies are pretty, but they don't have that cuteness factor. Alright. Is that the last experiment? There's one hiding inside of their house. Oh, there's a buzzage. Of course there's a buzzage. Just imagining opening a piñata, a bunch of cough drops falling out. I mean, if the piñatas had custom candy based on their names, then you would get some very interesting results. Like the Ponakis are just full of hockey. Sorry, bud, but I need these birds. Butterflies are pretty far away, not up close when you see their gross fly head. They have a very peculiar appearance, that's for sure. Alright, I'm just gonna do this if we have it out of the way, because otherwise I will completely forget and be like, oh, that's something I didn't do earlier? I'm just gonna do romance the Candaries once. Nope. No, my man. Wait. Hold on. Is that just gonna be there now? I accidentally duplicate the house thing. What? Huh. Weird. Viva Piñata sequel. Butterflies usually rest with their wings up, moths rest with their wings down. Viva Piñata sequel, instead of a garden, it's a city sim, and you have to attract different species of Piñata kaiju. Piñata moth from the Lord of the Rings movies made me appreciate how cute moths are. How come Viva Piñata isn't in Smash Bros. Sakurai? One day. Who would be the one to be fighting in the Smash Brothers though? Like, you can't just pick one piñata. Hester. I feel like that would be a pretty funny choice. Or Leafos. She would... But, no, but what if Leafos and she just fights with her fucking shovel and watering can and grass packet? Funchog is his trophy that drops candy. You want to bet him Funchog horse statue seems the most marketed. The horse statue and the Funchog are definitely one of the, like, piñatas that are key components to, like, mascots. But I'm sorry, I can't get out of my head the idea of just one of the human characters walking around and using their garden equipment. Better yet, Seedos. Special attack for weed seeds. That would be pretty bonkers. Alright, Willy. You done. What if they were reloading dead cursor as a fighter? I am. Yeah, there's the triangular circular garden friend. Of course. What do you need to? A jello flutterscotch. Well, mighty convenient. I mean, that would be pretty silly, I think. Though I don't know how that would work, necessarily. I'm sure you can make it work somehow. I have the Candaries, I don't know which one is actually experiment number 1, so this is literally pick any random ones. You, and except for Candary, you can see you. Attack him. Destroy the tiny butterflies. See, this is the most disturbing thing Rare's ever made, and I'm including Flanker's tentacles when I say that. Seedos is something else. He's not the worst thing in the world, but he's certainly a looker. Okay, there. Are you attacking? Okay, good. Excellent. If fast I could. Though that could made some people angry. Some people. I don't know. I mean, I feel like Leafus is a very obvious choice, but also a very funny choice. I don't know why. It's just silly to me. Alright, you come over here. There's a lot of choices. Although I don't know. I still don't know if this is the kind of property that would make sense in a fighting game scene. Especially if she comes out. Oh, what happened? Oh no, I fucked up the window again. Hold on. Wait, I can't. Oh god, this is a problem. This is a problem. Yeah, I noticed. I accidentally tugged at the game window so that it is the wrong size. Oh god. Well, let's just do this minigame. And then we can fix it. And, well, okay. Never mind. Now we'll fix it. It's not the correct window size, though. Hold on. Let me fix this because the window size is not correct. Luckily, this is not difficult to fix at all. I accidentally tugged at the game window, and for some reason its response was to minimize the game window as small as possible, which is very fun. See, this is the kid who wants to be player one. It's his house, but your house. But at your house, he's player one because he's the guest. There we go. Golly gee. It's happened enough for time in the middle of the stream, and it's always hilarious every time. There we go. Easy peasy. There we go. Come on now, game. There you go. There we go. Everything's smooth sailing from there. Alright. We're back. And the Kandaries are immediately going to their house, as would be expected. I'm not surprised in the slightest. Let's see if we can maybe make them come out, so we can watch the... In my opinion, my least favorite romance dance in the entire thing. What happened? Oh. There's a little bastard man in here. Where did Kandari 6 go? Back in the house, I assume? Yep. Come back out. The fudge hog is just doing its things. Come on. Why are these Kandaries not willing to come outside? Come on. No, you wanna. Actually, you probably don't wanna. Most Piñatas don't wanna go out of their house when asked. I guess not even smacking it. Well, there they are. Well, one of them. Let's observe the Funchog attempting to destroy this thistle. Nope, sounding a worm, because it can't destroy the thistle. Hey, off topic, but why are Minecraft texture packs so hard to make? I feel like the hardest part is understanding where the different, like, textures go. As in, like, which texture faces which direction on a block or a creature or whatnot. Because there is, like, sort of a pattern to it. But unless you don't know, or learn, like, which part equals which part, then that is going to be annoying. I think my main struggle is how to texture things. Like, I can add lines and details, but overall detail is just pain. There's also the fact that you have to work with pixels, and working with pixels in that small of a format and getting the look that you want is not the easiest thing to accomplish. I detail on the stone or little particles in the dirt. It's certainly an art on its own. Can you manage to do it? I'm not gonna hit it for you. Alright. Move out of there. You managed to knock it off, but then you didn't do anything. This is unnecessary. Whatever is happening here. This is why weed seeds are bad. I'm pretty sure I hit you guys so that you wouldn't fight. There you go. Are you slaving now, mister? After you knocked off the thistle and started some fights? I guess he's content with his chaos. But yeah, I would say that trying to make Minecraft texture packs is, it is difficult to make the textures be nice and not super muddy. Which is something that I've been tinkering with myself when I was trying to continue with the texture pack, which I'm gonna do that eventually. I just had a lot of stuff on my plate. Let me see the chat here. I can actually scroll up and look at stuff. Do the piñatas eat the grass? The grass made of sugar. I don't think any of the piñatas actually eat the grass. You just kind of look at it. This would be a 13-year-old girl who's accepted the environment that to post about. Will there be movement in social media? The starters would be the favorite of the parents, who was really spoiled and expected a lot of him, but ended up. Well, I don't know if he would that, considering that was kind of outside of his own thing. What happened to him? It's the dirt. Like one of those mud cups with shredded cookies and gummy worms in it. I honestly don't know when it comes to there's a puzzle gum here now. Fantastic. Like, it seems like a lot of the nature is just actually nature. I love how if you give them under a certain amount, they just get angry with you. Also, you're almost gonna hit with a shovel. You don't get any dignity. There we go. Oh. Where did the chat window go? Oh, there it is. I honestly think the grass is just grass. Mostly because it would be kind of weird if everything on Piñata Island was like sweets. I mean, it would sort of thematically work. No worries, I got the chat back up. I can see all of your silly comments. And now we're gonna watch the worst romance dance. The romance dance that I don't like at all, because I remember seeing this as a kid and I was like, wait, this is weird. I really don't understand why they made it like this for the birds. Because, you know. You know. So this man got stuck again. What's with Robinson getting stuck today? Everyone being like, what the fuck was that? Yep, that's the Canderry romance dance. It is the absolute worst one. This must be a reference to some old cartoon. Maybe. I honestly don't know. All I know is that it didn't need to be like that. But, you know, it's how it be sometimes. Also, this ruffian is just being knocked around. Well, we did that. Only got this Master Romance reward and all that jazz just because we want to get the Chippopotamus one. Krusty Krab, what the hell was that? BNG. Oh, you know. Children's games. Alright, well, we did what we need to do in this garden. So let's go back to the water one. I love getting to show people the things in this game that are just complete fucking bonkers. Like, they didn't need to make it like that. They really didn't. But they did. And now we just have to live with it. Which is also why I never really liked the Candery very much, because ever since I saw that, I was just like, I don't like this bird anymore. Where can we even build a Chippopotamus house in this garden? Maybe in this corner over here. Though luckily, that's the only romance dance in this game that's like that. That is, you know. Some of them are just weird or very stupid, but at least they're not that. But I remember thinking, like, oh man, I can't let my parents see these birds. This is inappropriate. Why weren't you getting a little too defenseless every time you read the chat? Oh, you mean like looking out of the window momentarily? I mean, it's part of the fun. And in most cases, I'm not too concerned. Hello. Hello there. Maybe your game's still going when you're reading us. Indeed. I mean, if I had a way to pop up the chat box so that I could actually see it at the side of my screen without having to pop out momentarily to read the full message, then that would be ideal. But right now, I don't quite know how to pin the chat completely up on the thing. Let me sell some of these stuff just to get a little bit of extra cash and maybe put up a thing so that we don't have to worry about the dude who's been annoying us for quite a while. Right. Let's get the Cactus Cutlass. Glad I could finally come see you play this. Gotta be one of my favorite VP artists on Twitter. I'm glad you enjoy my pinata arts. It is very fun. Alright, let me slap this down, like, here. Hope you enjoyed the stream. We're currently gonna work on getting some Chippopotamus things. So I'm gonna, real quick, make sure that we get some funds to actually build a Chippopotamus house. Because at the moment, the Captain's Cutlass kind of cut us back a bit, which, haha. Oh, so, hey! He's leaving now! He's been there the entire time. For the entire stream. He's just been standing in that corner, and now he's finally leaving. Now that he noticed the Cactus Cutlass is here, he's just like, oh, well, gotta go. I mean, it works. You can definitely see that it does its function. Which is the good part. Honestly, the Captain's Cutlass is one of the best items, and just one of the main reasons why Ivor is such a good merchant. Though it is unfortunate that they fixed it in Trouble in Paradise, but, you know. At least it's useful in this game. And you can actually see it in action, but it just makes them go away. There we go. Let's have these grow and sell them, and then buy a hippopotamus house for these two big boys. Oh, they actually have a cannery in the garden. Well, luckily it's not that hard to make canneries. It's like one of the easiest thing to do. Let me grab some buttercups. There we go. Now we need to find where our spearmints are. One of them is over there, flying around. The other one is up here. And then from there. Right, you. Be around here. That'll be useful for later. Swords are better than sabers, but they're still cool. I mean... yeah. I mean, I'm more of a hammer person myself. Or battle axe. But swords are neat. Sabers fill a particular niche. And you can also call them banana swords. Salamango? Oh, did you see a salamango? I mean, you can see you can see piñatas that are not supposed to be, out and about. Actually, out and about. I'm not gonna make salamangos. I actually have a shit ton of salamangos, including one that looks like a... that looks like a cowboy. In the garden with the Dragonosh. Which, I mean, we could go check up on those, later. Because I do... people be like, I don't care about the dress up in this game. But, like, it's one of the most fun things. Just put a bunch of stupid shit on a piñata and be like, haha, you're a cowboy now. I scoured the internet for an explanation of why cannery romance dance is so raunchy and found no plausible reason. there is no reason. Oh, I was asking you for finding to make Salamango. Viva Piñata become cowboy. Really, dude? Yeah. Not making a Salamango. I'm actually selling these for profits. In the chili trade. There always been a Salamango is named after something spicy. I mean, you can make, like, salsa out of mangoes. But yeah, you'd think it would be after, like, named after, like a spicy candy. Or something of the sort, but, you know. Like how the Red Hot, like the Firefly is named after... Isn't the Red Hot candy literally just Red Hots? Except, you know, it's spelled with just one D instead of two. Which, I mean, good naming there. But then you got the Salamango. It's just like, yeah, we put the mango at the end because it's... Even though there's probably something spicy that would fit. Foreheads is foreheads. Yep. I did not understand that as a kid, but learning more about things, it's like, oh yeah, that makes complete sense. It's like how twinger snaps are like ginger snaps. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck a ginger snap is, but sure, makes sense. Fudge hogs are fudge, obviously. Pretz tails, I was confused about, because like, what does that have to do with foxes? But it's just pretzel plus tail. Probably because there's no good candies that start with X. The Mexico mangoes are a lot of times eaten with Cajun chili. Oh. I mean, you kind of got that, like, the sweetness of the mango with the spiciness. Because usually spicy and sweet things go pretty well together. Yay. I did the thing for you, Langston. If the reward is always the same. Just a bunch of candies being thrown everywhere. Oh, you know. Alright, after we sell these, we'll get houses for these guys. And then figure out what their offer romance requirements are. Could you get off the flower, mister? I kinda need to knock on this so I can get the flower off. Thank you. Come over here, bird. We only need one of these technically to turn into a Kandari, but might as well do both. There we go. Easy peasy. What more do you need? Seed of 4 fan birds of paradise. Okay. Weird. That feels like they were like, okay, this is a high level piñata. What's a high level plant that they can have that isn't water related? Because we already have them eat every single water plant. What do we do? Birds of paradise. Because we don't have enough things that actually use birds of paradise. Because I can think of like a couple of piñatas that actually has any point with the birds of paradise. Aka being the flutterscotches, to turn them orange. I think for the visit requirements for the parrots as well. The parrot-rolls. Alright, let me just get a hippopotamus home, which is giant. Could you guys get out of the way? Move. Move. Move, I want to build your house. Get out of there! What's left in there? Nothing? Okay, maybe I need to extend the space a little bit. Just build this right in front of Leafus's house. I'm sure it's fine. Oh my god, stop landing here! All these piñatas getting in the way. Also, in the dub version of the game, sour candies are called bitter, since a lot of the most popular candy here are really sour and or spicy. It makes sense. I forget what they're actually called in Swedish. I know that the sour piñatas are referred to as sour, but bitter makes sense too. Get out of the way! 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 Shoot! There, let me build. Golly. No, I don't want to. No, no. You! Stop being in the way. Get out of here! You silly piñatas. The internet tells me Licatoad is from licorice. It is. And then Lakatoad is also sort of from licorice. No, I don't want to do that. Stop. I always assumed. There's a trick about thinking frogs to get by. Which is why it falls into a poison toad thing. I mean, I can sort of see the licking part, because they don't really make the licorice very evident in the name. But yeah. Oh. What do you? No! Get back in there! I accidentally knocked on your thing. Wait, where are you going? Okay, go. Wait! I didn't know you could do that! If you knock on the building while it's being worked on, Willius comes out confused. I don't know, rare is weird. Rare is indeed weird. No, check this out. I knock on the door, or knock on the building, and Willius comes out confused. It's like, I'm not finished yet. Huh. I didn't know you could actually do that. Where you could interrupt him in the middle of his work. I know you can piss him off by destroying the thing while he's working on it, in which case he goes, "What the fuck, man? Why do you do that?" I was today's years old. Oh, there's a... Oh, you fucker! There is a Lickitung here. We're gonna sell it immediately, because it's just gonna start fights with the newt cats, and I don't want that. Isn't there a way to play golf with the shovel? Not in this game, but in Trouble in Paradise you can play golf with the shovel. Where you can actually, you can, like, make a hole, and then try to put candies into it. It's pretty fun. It's very, very silly. But it's one of those little hidden mini-games in the second game. Alright, sorry, Frog. If you weren't fighting constantly with the newts, then I would accept you. Oh my god, could you guys stop being on the piece of land that I'm trying to friggin' dig? There we go. Okay, he's done. Yay. There we go. Hippopotamus house. It's animated. So no worries. Okay, Willy, get out of here. There's a taffly that's stuck in the house. And I almost got stuck with my cursor there. Alright. Oh. Let's plant some birds of paradise for these guys. Because they need 4 each. So let's plant 2, and then fertilize them, and then we'll be more than enough. Below their cost. Keep accidentally almost calling you Cost a Lot, but that's the name of your store. Your name is Lottie. Getting all the trick stick things in the second game was an absolute nightmare. The tricks are completely pointless. But that's enough for an entire different thing. Where it's just like, oh yeah, try to figure out enough for set of things that we don't explain to you what you actually need to do. But I get both of them. I cannot tell. I'm assuming so. That is the ugliest looking house I've seen in Viva Piñata. It's not great. Hey, I'm level 55. Sweet. Yeah, it's not the most visually appealing house ever. It's got some... I don't even know. What is this going on here? Like, whatever's going on here, it looks bad. I don't know. It's something. Prefer these kinds of houses. But you know. I remember there's one particular piñata house that I miss like that. But I forget which one it is. There's some that are just really weird looking. What animal would you have as a piñata in this game, if you could? Oh my gosh, there's so many fucking animals that aren't piñatas that should be. Like, how about anteater? Magpie, because that's a bird that they don't have. They have crows, but they don't have magpies. Nor do they have ravens. I think ravens would be pretty neat. Trying to think. Something for animals that would make for neat piñatas. There's a lot of birds. Like a turkey. There's no turkey piñata. A pelican. There's flamingo. Yeah, I know it is. It is unfortunate that mud looks an awful lot like waste. Even, well, I mean, sort of is. But want a pangolin with rainbow paper scales. A pangolin would make for an excellent piñata. Trying to think. Like a Chinese or Chinese water deer? Or forget if they're whatever one is called. There's enough for little deer with fangs. I think those would be neat. Right, we got the plants. What's some piñatas you peoples in the chat would enjoy if you were to pick any animal that hasn't been made into a piñata before? I want a pangolin too. People just like want pangolin. I mean, pangolins are excellent little animals. Alright. One chippo. Monitor lizard. That would be cool. We don't really have any particularly big lizards in this aside from, you know, the crocodile. Like, a monitor lizard. Or like a Komodo dragon would be neat. Thank you for destroying the flowers fest. I feel like there aren't a lot of primates. No, there's like 3. Unless you count the bush baby, which I mean, yes, it is indeed a primate. The galagugu, the cinnamonkey, the sarsaparilla, and the bonboon are the only primates which you could like do like a lemur kind of deal. Or what are gibbons? Those long ass armed little guys. Or like orangutans. Like, there's a bunch you could do. Can we get the upper one to come out of the house, please? Kinda would be great to end this stream with romancing the chippos. Just kind of finish that chapter off. Don't you dare go back into your house immediately. Neither you. You stay out so we can do the things. I feel like a lemur piñata would be cute. But it's mostly because I don't really like a lot of other, like, apes or monkeys. Except for, like, spider monkeys. Spider monkeys are cute. Also, this is terrifying. I don't like it. Why did they have to do it like that? Have you ever romanced the hippo piñatas? This is the first time, in this playthrough at least. Also, why is it so small? Oh, Jesus. Tiny. Also, this is miserable. But I romanced it way back when I did my original playthrough as a kid. It was kind of sneak. There's still like house hippo-sized hippos in this mini again. So this will be the first time for this playthrough. I remember in my original playthrough back when I was a kid, I managed to get a chippopotamus baby that would just stay a baby because there wasn't enough space for it to actually grow into a proper chippopotamus. Because I had so many chippopotamuses in the garden. So the game was just like, what? Can't do. If it go bigger, it goes on beyond limit. Can't do. Does not compute. Alright, let's see this beautiful romance dance that I completely forget what it is. That audio glitch was beautiful. Wow, wow, wow. Alright. The hippos have been romanced. Excellent. Wait, there was no audio? Danced himself to sleep. There was audio. It was just very quiet. Oh, yay! Level 56. You guys. Well, that was accomplished. And then it's the tedious task of romancing these fellas. Eventually, which I'm not gonna do in today's stream. I'm pretty content just having romanced them all. But honestly, pretty good point to stop. So let me check this. I can allow that message, although I'm going to answer the question in that no, not really. That's not quite how it works. Literally, the romance minigame is just to give you something to do aside from just having to go through the tedious thing of like getting the requirements set up. It's also like, I think in lore, it's Professor Pester being like, no romance to pinatas. You're not allowed to let them be happy. So he sets up those the nonsense to stop you from being able to have them make more pinatas. I don't know to what end. Sorry, it was a raunchy question. I mean, it's fine. But pretty sure that's not the case, especially considering that the pinatas don't even lay the eggs themselves. They just magically appear on this mountain. Or I don't know if they magically appear or somebody is just making eggs out of paper mache up there for whenever Pinatas is like, I want to have a child. But you know, here's another fun fact. Is Easter egg. Another Easter egg is that this entire thing up here is a 2D image. Except for the very top part and the blimp. But I think this is a pretty good point to wrap up the stream. We did quite a lot today, actually. Is the big boss involved? I'm undetermined. But yeah. I don't know. I think this has been a pretty productive stream. Oh my gosh, these sounds. We got a bunch of stuff done. Let me see if I can recap what we did. We got the geese romanced. We went to the upper garden and got, let's see, what else did we get? We romanced the experiments. We romanced candaries. We got a couple of moth traps to set up for getting the Galaguga next time. And then we romanced these two fellers. These two hippopotamuses. And got to see some wonderful glitches in the meantime, because it wouldn't be a Pinata stream without glitches. But I hope y'all have had fun today. I certainly have. It's always fun to play this game and get to show off new things to people. Which, one last little fun fact that I can share with y'all. If you ever keep an eye out for the save icon popping up in the corner, you will notice that the grass pattern on the disc, like the saving icon, is in the shape of the Piñata Island itself, which is just a little neat, small factoid. Yeah, right there. Head pats over head pot. Soft clang, clang, clang. Yeah, I hope y'all have had fun today, and that y'all have a good rest of your day, evening, night, whatever time it happens to be. And I will see y'all on first day with maybe more Minecraft. I might draw on the stream, but we'll see what I feel up to. And then next week you can catch me again on Tuesday with more Viva Piñata, where we continue our journey, and I'm gonna try and get the Galagoo by that time, so we can get our lovely Tim back. But that'll be it for today. Have a wonderful day, and I will see y'all later. Now to find the stop streaming button.